Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are going to be reviewing the new Patrick Ta launches. This is very exciting because he has a brand new product that he's never done before. Well, two brand new products. We have his first eyeshadow palette as well as eyeliner. I did go ahead and pick these up at Sephora yesterday because they launched online and in store, so I wanted to quick grab it. I tested it out a little bit last night and then I did this look for you guys today so I can have my thoughts on everything. But I was pretty excited to pick this up. I am a really big fan of Patrick Ta's makeup products. I feel like he has such beautiful, luxurious stuff. If you guys are not familiar, he is a celebrity makeup artist and he has his own line on his website and Sephora. Most of the stuff I have tried from the line has been very good. I have almost everything. I buy pretty much all the new launches and I really like that he doesn't like overdo it with the launches. He releases products here and there and it's not super often. He doesn't usually come out with full collections and stuff like that, but I think that's a good thing because I really think he perfects his products and tries to make it great. Pretty much a lot of his stuff has been in my top tier of products, so I knew I had to try out this eyeshadow palette, but it was definitely pricey. Like, seeing the price point, I was kind of like, ooh, that's expensive. I was expecting it to be a little bit less just compared to the other price of his stuff. I think his blushes are usually around $30, lip products in the $20 range, so this palette was $68. That seemed very high, but I was expecting that it's going to be good quality for this kind of a price tag, but usually with palettes, I would expect it to be maybe even $59 or $55, somewhere in that range. So let's get into the palette. This is what the packaging looks like for the outer packaging, and it's called the Major Dimension Eyeshadow Palette, and the entire casing is rose gold mirrored, kind of similar to his other like blushes and bronzers and stuff like that. He definitely has a theme. Again, this is $68 and it is described as a versatile eyeshadow palette that contains 2 luminous cream bases, velvety matte and iridescent metallic shadows, and glistening pearl toppers. So it has a lot of different finishes in here. Opening up, this is what everything looks like. You do get 12 shades. You have a mixture here. They have most of the mattes on the bottom, some of the shimmers and pearls mixed in, and then you have your 2 creams which have a little casing over it so that you don't spill your powders into the creams, which is nice. So I was really intrigued about the cream shadows in here. I think that is really what makes this palette unique. You really don't see that in a lot of eyeshadow palettes, and it kind of seems like a weird concept. I don't usually use a ton of cream shadows. If I am using one, it's usually just all over the lid. I haven't tried blending them with other like finishes and stuff like that. I've tried like Natasha Denona's like some kind of cream to powder formula, and I'm not always the biggest fan. I feel like those can be hard to blend, but these are a true cream finish, and I was actually taken aback by how well they performed. So I will go ahead and insert the swatches here so you guys can see everything, how it looks. Really beautiful. The mattes feel very creamy. Even those like topper shades feel very soft to the touch, and even though they are described as a topper, I feel like they have really good pigment to them. It's not like the toppers I've tried from Pat McGrath, which are like hardly there sometimes. These truly did have great pigmentation. The shimmers were great as well, and then yeah, the cream shadows truly are what stand out in the palette that makes it different from other palettes. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, just another neutral palette, you know. Yeah, we do have some palettes that are very similar in the colors because warms, I mean, we have a lot of that, but there is definitely some very unique qualities to this one as well that set it apart. So that is kind of a little bit about the palette, the swatches. Let me show you guys the eyeliner as well. So they came out with 4 different eyeliners too. I decided to go ahead and pick this one up because it's supposed to be like a creamy gel eyeliner formula, but it's supposed to work like a liquid liner basically. So I tried it today as a wing just to see how it performed. I picked up the shade Deep Bronze just because this is something I usually go for on my waterline. I don't really use a lot of liner on top, usually just on the lower lash line, but this was a really pretty one. This is what Deep Bronze looks like. So it has a tiny bit of shimmer in there. Really beautiful, kind of similar packaging to his lip liners. These are $26 a piece. So now that we've kind of gone over everything, I want to go ahead and get into how I did this look, trying out the eyeshadows. Like I said, this is my second time trying this look. I messed with it a little bit last night, kind of trying out the formulas eyebrows and everything, and I'll definitely show you guys that look as well. But let's get into the tutorial. Alright, so into the palette here, this is my second time using it today, and I want to start with the cream so I can kind of show you guys how those work and how easily they blend out even with a brush. I feel like these would be so pretty too, just all over the lid. But I actually tried them yesterday, like in the crease with the blending brush, and they seem to work pretty good. So I'm going to start with this lighter cream up here and place this into the crease. I'm just tapping my brush in it, and we're going to just lightly get that in there and blend it out. I just place the product first and then I start blending just so I don't get too much, but these blend out so good. I'm really surprised. I was not sure what to expect because I'm not like a huge fan of when Natasha does her creamy mattes, but these are way easier to work with. They truly feel like you're using a cream like bronzer, like his cream bronzer formula in the crease. So they just blend out so seamlessly, and then you can even apply the powder on top of it. So we're gonna go into, let's do this matte here. I think this one is Absolutely. These are just insanely pigmented. I even got way too much on my brush, but they blend so nice. I was playing with this palette last night just to get a feel for it, see what I think, and I was really blown away. Truly, I didn't know what to expect from this, but I think Patrick really took his time on this palette launch to make it great for everyone. Next, I'm going to use the shade, which is Scandal. And this is the darkest brown in the palette, just placing this in the outer corner. Next, I'm going to go in with this shade here. This one's more of like a light shimmer. It's not like glittery like some of the other ones in the palette. This one, I'm sorry if I'm messing up the names. I think this one is called Divine. So I'm just taking a wet brush with this one, and I'm going to place this on the lid. Just for a subtle shimmery base. Since that has a harsher line, I'm gonna blend that with my outer corner. Next, with my finger, I'm gonna take this really sparkly light pearl shade called Abundance and place that over top just to add more glitter. It's kind of like it's a topper, but it has a lot of pigment to it than most toppers do. So I call it like just a really shimmery lid color, but it looks beautiful paired with this shade. It kind of made it a little bit more icy looking, so it's not super warm tone. But yeah, that looks stunning. Let's take that cream shade, this one actually, the darker one, on my lower lash line with just this pencil brush. It's the Alter Ego number 11. It's so easy just to smear this on the lower lash line. It blends so easily. Like, that was seriously seamless, hardly any mess. I'll set it with this one just very lightly. This one is Scandal. Same one we used in the outer corner. I just want to set it down just in case it smudges or smears, but I had tried the cream shadows in the outer corner last night and they didn't transfer at all. They kind of dried down to a matte, which is nice. I did also buy the eyeliner as well, so I wanted to try out that today too. I want to wing out my liner just a little bit with the pencil just to see how that goes. I honestly haven't done a wing in so long, so we'll see. Honestly, I hope it doesn't, like, I'll probably mess it up, we'll see, but it has 4 different shades, and it says it gives the coverage of a liquid in a pencil form, which is why I thought it would be nice to try it for this. So let's try this out. I did buy the shade Deep Bronze because I usually like a nice brown. So I'm just going to kind of tight line here. And I'm just going to wing it out just a little bit on the ends. And then I'm also going to put this on my lower lash line. So this is the finished look once I got everything on, kind of cleaned up my edges with my liner, but I think it did work as a liner for sure. Just kind of winged it out and put some lashes on and then finished the rest of my face. I'll have everything on my face linked down below, but let's get into my final thoughts here on the new Patrick Ta eyeshadow palette. Alright, so I did do another look last night. I wanted to show you too. That was just something very quick and easy, just wanting to play with the palette, so I'll insert that footage here just to kind of show you the different look I did. And this one I did the creams in the crease and also the outer corner, and I placed powder on top of it and it blended amazingly. Plus I think I used this shade all over the lid to get that really metallic look as well. So into my thoughts here on the palette, I truly am impressed with this one. I know I have a lot of palettes in my collection and I have a lot of neutral palettes. Neutrals aren't my thing. It's what I go for. I never get sick and I can never have enough of them. So obviously this probably won't be for everyone. You might have these colors in your collection, but I think what makes it unique is definitely the different textures, and the quality is really up there. I was thinking of different price points of what it's similar to. I was thinking Charlotte Tilbury has a similar price point, but I think this is better than Charlotte Tilbury. Natasha Denona, she offers a little bit more shades for her $65 palettes for sure. But I definitely think this is on par with Natasha, maybe even a little bit better. Like, I really like this formula. The mattes were super easy to blend. I was really impressed with those creams. Very creamy when you apply them and you think, how is this gonna work? But you can literally use it with a brush, you can use it with your finger, and you can put the other powders on top of it and it doesn't skip. It's amazing how that works. I'm really impressed with that because usually you would think that would just be a disaster waiting to happen for unblended eyeshadow. But that might be my favorite thing in the palette. I just use them as a base, but I can't wait to even try it all over the lid. And they don't crease either. I wore my eyeshadow last night for like 4 hours. I didn't have any creasing or fading. They do last. So I'm impressed. I think the metallics are beautiful as well. They can look a little bit chunky, but make sure you kind of just smooth them out over the eye to get that smooth effect. But they're super metallic and beaming. If you do have, let's say, really wrinkled eyelids, you probably won't like those metallics just because they can enhance that, but I thought they were beautiful. I love a good super shimmery lid, and then the mattes blended beautifully. So I have no complaints really so far. I think it's great. Just the price point still kind of shocks me a bit, but I mean, like, I can't say it's not good quality because it is, and I guess that's why they have that higher price tag. And I guess he is more of a luxury brand, which I get, but I still would have liked to see it maybe a little bit cheaper. I do have a discount code though, Leah15. If you are a first-time buyer on Patrick Ta, you can use that to save a little bit, make it a little bit cheaper for you if it is something you want to pick up. I could see this replacing a lot of neutral palettes in my collection. I did want to go ahead and compare it to one I thought was the most similar in my collection, and that is from Too Faced. This is the Natural Nudes from them. It is very similar. Like, it has the same tones as you guys can see. Obviously the Too Faced does not have the cream, so I did swatch these side by side to show you what they looked like. I just didn't include the creams because obviously that is the big difference here. But really the tones are very similar. The only real differences I had is I do feel like the Patrick Ta formula is a little bit better. The mattes are a lot easier to blend than the Too Faced palette, and the metallics are a little bit more shiny in the Patrick Ta. But if you're wanting a similar look but you just don't want to pay the $70, I think the Too Faced would be a good buy for you if you want a similar color scheme. But I do prefer the Patrick palette. Like, I would definitely declutter this and keep this one. But if you do have the Too Faced Natural Nudes, I would probably skip the Patrick Ta palette. But yeah, that was the most similar. You could also compare this one to maybe the Natasha Denona Bronze, but I do like that this one has a lot more mattes in it than Natasha does. Here it is compared, as you guys could see side by side. I think I prefer the colors in Patrick Ta because I do prefer more matte shades in my palettes, and this one does usually not have enough for me, even though I love the bronze palette. And then of course we have Anastasia Soft Glam, which is going to have a similar color scheme as well. That one's very similar to Natasha Denona Bronze. But I do feel like the Patrick Ta stands on its own. That is kind of my thoughts on the palette. I like it. I would recommend it. Of course, if it's not in your budget, you absolutely do not need to buy this at all. I love trying all different makeup from drugstore to clearance to luxury and high-end. I love to try it all. I try not to look at price tags, and I just, you know, I look at if it's a good palette or not, and if it is good for the price that it is. And I can see why they priced it up there because it's good quality. With the eyeliner, I did try that out today, and I do feel like it did work pretty well. It was really easy to do a wing with, way easier than a liquid, so I will definitely be using this from now on if I am going to do a wing liner. But with eyeliners, I feel like a lot of them are so similar. The major differences is like smudging. I know a lot of drugstore eyeliners can smudge a little bit, but this one seems to be good. It's not smudging anywhere. It does set down, so I could see kind of the aspects of how it does dry down to a matte, so it's kind of like a liquid liner, how it stays in place all day, and it's easy to use since it's so creamy to create the wings. So I do think it is a nice eyeliner. Is it a necessity? Probably not. You could probably find a good dupe at the drugstore for this one for sure, but I wanted to try it out in the collection, and I'm definitely going to keep on using it because I enjoy it. I really need to declutter my eyeliners so bad. I have a ton in my collection. Anyways, that is it. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.